It's Sunday. It's a lovely gray outside. It's one of my favorite shades of gray. It's it's not like so bright that it feels like there's something hostile about it, but it's got a little bit of lightness to it. The worst gray is when the sky is full of wildfire smoke. Just aesthetically, it's horrible to look at. It just your brain says this is not natural. This is wrong. I don't know how low level that is. Is that the hypothalamus picking that up and comparing it to your past experience and saying, no, hypothalamus, hippocampus, hypothalamus. Anyways, is it that part of your brain that just looks at past experiences you've had in life and says, this is when bad things happen, be afraid now? Or is it something deeper? Something kind of built in, cross-generational into your biology, that you're going to look at a weird sky and say, this is bad. I don't know. But you just look at a wildfire sky and it just makes you feel ill at ease. All right, let's talk about my game. Let's even not talk about it. Let's look at it. Let's look at this game. It's called the Godkiller. It's a puzzle solving game. And let's see. Last night I made some progress on a level. It actually plays through. It's a tight little puzzle. I wanted to make a level that is not a big sprawling behemoth, because I just made 2 of those. I wanted to make something it's just a little tighter. I know something about how puzzle aficionados think. They got no respect for inelegant puzzles. This one's elegant. Alright, what else did I do? Let me save this for a moment. I'm going to come back and demo it. I'm going to work on it too, because I'm not done with it. Let's see, so inside of... Oh. I'm actually interested to test this out once, make sure it still works, because in my player build I had some issues. Alright, I'm going to hit play here. So this game is written in Unity and C#. I've been working on it for a few years. I should figure out a good way to keep track of how long I've been working on it. I don't hear any. There we go. Okay, second level of the game. I have to wait a little while for the dialogue to finish up, and then a door to the east opens. It's the only place in the game so far that I've done this. It feels like cheating to me. I really prefer not to have any kind of captive audience, but there are just a few things that this character here needs to say to establish what's happened. I'm thinking about maybe pulling out a line or 2. Okay. Pick up the apple. Here's the new thing. I put some text that appears on the screen that says what you need to do. Tutorial text. And this is another thing I'm very loath to do. But it's introducing a new control. It's pretty reasonable for me to expect the player's going to figure out arrow keys. I might also map WASD to it just to have both of them work. But now suddenly they can use the shift key. So as soon as they do one fling, then the tutorial text goes away. And I aim to only show the tutorial text maybe a couple more times in the whole game, because I hate tutorials. game elements here are they're meant to be understood through something like a scientific method from the player. Player tries things, sees how game elements react, and levels are constructed to teach the player what they need to know. Okay, it's another thing I did. If you saw it at the start of each level, it'll show the name of the level now. And there's another thing I did here, which somehow I didn't get into the player build. A little bit worried about that. There'll be some off-stream work today where I just do some bug fixing related to problems that only show up in the player builds, which are horrible because it takes me a half hour to make a build. So if I get an idea to try something, put it together and I start the build, and a half hour later I can play it. I might do something where I yank out all the levels except the ones that I'm testing on, so that the player build is created much faster, so I can debug these things. The other thought I had was maybe it's not just the player build, maybe it's Windows versus Mac. So I might set up, God, I hate doing this. Might set up an environment on my Windows laptop, but that's going to be torturous. Just there's stupid things like you go to the browser, and somebody should be shot. I don't know if it's the Mac people or the Windows people, but they decided that they would do reversed mouse wheel scrolling. One of them did. Whoever, I think it was probably Mac, because if I remember right, it was Windows where they came out with the 2-button mouse and then put the mouse wheel in the middle, and I think Apple was the holdout where they said, that's very inelegant. We disapprove of it. We want you to have a simple mouse with one button and do things with it that way, because that's Apple. I'm pretty sure that's how it went down. Then a little bit later, that mouse wheel got pretty friggin' popular. And yeah, I don't know this for certain, but I think Apple probably said, we'll make the mouse wheel go the opposite way. Because that's how Apple is. Windows would just Microsoft would just say, let's make it as much like what Apple did as we can get away with without getting sued. And maybe we will get sued. Mac would say, we are the source of innovation. We are the inventors. We are the precious originators of good things. And we will give unto you a mouse wheel that works the opposite way of the rest of the world, because that's better. That's what Apple would do. I think that's what happened. I'm almost certain. And it probably was a guy who was talking just like that. And it might have been Steve Jobs, or it might have been one of his minions. Okay. What a lot of bullshit. Let me go. Yeah, I had other stuff too. I fixed a couple other bugs, including like one where the enemies were killing each other whenever they were around stairs. All right, let me go back to that level that I was working on. I'll demo that real quick, and then I'll finish it up. Okay, what was the name of that level? Now I've got almost 50 levels in here, and it gets a little bit tough. It was Ice Axles. That's it. Me ranting raised my body heat. That's how much of energy I put into these rants. People say you're not getting enough exercise. No, a rant burns like half a calorie for every 5 minutes of ranting. Very simple level. Alright, I've still got the automatic solution playing. Okay, I've got command playback in here. I'm going to take that out. Bam. Okay. All right. This is basically it right here. And I kept it small in size so you could see practically the whole puzzle on the screen at one time. At least if you're right in the middle like this, you can see the whole puzzle. So it's axles and it's ice. And there's a little exit off over here to get to. And the ice means that you're going to slide all the way. You can't just walk up to something. You have to slide all the way in one direction. It's similar to flinging. Ice is kind of like a mandatory fling. Okay. So that's the solution. Okay. So I have made a promise that in the demo portion of my streams, I'm not going to show bonus solutions. Bonus solutions are when you get the present on the level. So there's two challenges in each level. There's getting to the exit. This is the exit over here. Then there's grabbing the present. And every level's got those two things. But in the demo portion, I'm not going to show getting the bonus challenges. That gives people who are watching along a way to preserve their play value when they come along later to play the game. Okay. But I'm going to move to work mode, and that means the spoiler thing is off. You know, I'll be working on that bonus challenge. You'll see that. So if you are trying to avoid the spoiler of the bonus solution, now is a good time to drop off the stream. Okay. Okay, before I stopped last night, I was working on adding in this inset wall, which is kind of a pain in the ass, but because this level is on the simple side, I felt like putting a little extra time into decoration on it, just to make it look aesthetically nice, give the player something to look at. But also, when you do a simple level, it kind of feels like you're trying to be cheap or something, you know, to some people maybe, or it can give that impression. So that's why I'm putting a little bit extra time on the decoration. Yeah, I'm gonna make some nice insets. Not to be confused with incest, I'm gonna make some nice insets. Oh, man, I got going and went past the place where I need to make some other stuff. Okay. I've been doing this Pro Builder modeling for long enough that there are moments when I can just go on autopilot on a task. That's the wrong word, but I kind of get into I guess you could say a flow state. But just like I don't have to think that hard about what I'm doing if it fits the pattern of something that I've done before. In this particular case, I was making something that fit the pattern of something I did many times before, but I'm actually breaking the pattern here a little bit, so I have to slow down. Make sure I do things right. Okay. So normally inside of Unity you can't directly do 3D modeling. I mean, you can create some primitives in it, you know, like a sphere, a plane. Can you even do a sphere? A cube at least. But once you create them, they're not really editable. You can scale them. You can place them in different spots. I think the normal way that people 3D model in Unity is, well, they use it to place prefabs or models that have been created in some other program. But you can get Pro Builder for free. It's one of the official Unity packages now. Didn't used to be. And you can use that to change the geometries of your objects, the meshes, directly inside of Unity. It's good for some things, it's bad for others. I've come to believe that it's pretty decent for getting like the walls and basic shapes of things that you want. If you're going for a very detailed game, where just like a kind of these flat walls with little variations in geometry just aren't interesting enough, then you'll end up replacing a lot of that geometry with prefabs or things from other modeling programs. So it happens that my game, the aesthetic of it is well suited to having a pretty simple set of modeling tools inside of Unity. Pro Builder works just fine for it. That said, even with all those constraints on like what you would use it for, it does fall short in some areas. There are numerous little habits that I picked up while using Pro Builder that aren't really that sensical. They're just things that you do to avoid problems. For example, if I create an object and then make a duplicate of that object, and I make a modification to the second object, and for some reason the same modification is applied to the first project, like I don't even think about it anymore. I just hit undo and I attempt the same operation again, and it works without changing the first object. It's just part of my weird habits now. I don't think about it. It's just I've learned to get around that weirdness of Pro Builder. There are things like light seams. So if you want to avoid light seams, this is a weirdness, I think, of Unity as well as ProBuilder. Maybe it's more Unity, but if you want to avoid light seams, these parts where two game objects join up are important. So on purpose, I made the new game object here start right here at the corner, because if there is a difference in lighting between this and this surface, it will not matter because it's at a corner. And then you could say, well, if that's a problem, why don't you just create one object? Well, there's another weird thing about ProBuilder. Maybe it's not that weird, it's just maybe a technical hurdle they didn't clear all that well. An issue is that if your model gets more than, say, a few hundred polys in it, it's going to be very, very slow to edit. You'll start seeing a spinner, a multi-second spinner after each change to the object. So intentionally, I kind of broke off this game object right at the corner, because I knew from hours and hours and hours of modeling sessions that that would be about the right size to avoid getting those multi-second delays after each edit. Now let me look this over and make sure I got it right. Okay, so I've been saying kind of bad things about ProBuilder, but I want to say good things too. I want to just like be fair about it. You know, I want to not say anything that paints the wrong picture, too good or too bad. I'm against ranting these days. I really am, at least as far as topics related to the work I'm doing, because I found that people that just sort of people have shown me better examples of behavior where instead of, like, you know, saying in a childish way, it really ought to work this way, and then going on for 5 minutes about it, you just figure out, how do I make the best of this situation? And it might be that you understand idiosyncrasies of that tool better, or that you just switch away to a different tool and stop worrying about what you hated so much about that tool. Okay, so good things about ProBuilder. I'm productive in it, man. I really am. And I can crank out a pretty complicated level that's ready to play in about 4 hours, and that's not just the modeling. That's like all the tasks of level design, figuring out the lighting and everything like that. So it really is fast. I don't have to switch between two different 3D UIs. So I don't have to place inside of Unity with its tools and conventions and everything and model in a different program. I have heard of some flows that seem pretty nice where you know, you can model in a different program and it just kind of instantly updates inside of Unity. That sounds good. But I do see there being a fairly large productivity hit, particularly if it's just one person doing both tasks, jumping between the two programs. Even if you, like, say, went into Blender and you configured it to use like all the same keys as Unity, like, you know, when you're scrolling around, just doing like basic navigation stuff and clicking on objects and all that, you could configure it to use pretty much the same mouse and keyboard commands. Even if you did that, still, just jumping back and forth between those two programs would slow you way the fuck down. Now, if your workflow is such that your levels are just going to have a lot of repeating objects in them, if it totally makes sense to just prefab everything and just repeat them, and like you got a hallway and it's a standard hallway, and maybe you got some variations on it, but it's just a hallway. So you have a prefab hallway, you plop it down, and it looks beautiful and glorious. It seems like you're better suited to something like, Blender, going into Unity, or pick your favorite modeling program, dedicated modeling program. But if all the little changes in the walls and stuff, they matter a lot, like a hallway that is 3 meters long gives you significantly different gameplay than a hallway that's 4 meters long, then this is the way to go. Having like all these sort of direct edits, I think. Okay, let me get these guys set up right. 6, yeah. So I just went on autopilot now and forgot that I did that. Okay. These are the ones I didn't do. Okay. So this particular game, the placement of every wall, almost every wall, and every floor, it matters. Hey, Fright Law, good to see you. How's your Sunday going? I think it's still Sunday. Are you already in Monday? Is it Sunday for you? Yeah, it's still Sunday for you. Doing my time zone calculations. Wait a minute. No, actually, I don't think I figured out where you were from. Poland. Okay, I was gonna say Eastern Europe, and I wish I had said it before you wrote Poland, because now you don't know if I'm just making that up. But yeah, Poland. I've not been to Poland. I've been to, closest I've been, I think, is Czech Republic. Dun, dun. But yeah, like all these like detailed edits on the object inside of here. I mean, if I was going to have a dedicated modeling program, then I would basically need to make my whole level inside of it. I couldn't prefab it and then bring it into Unity and place all the objects. It just wouldn't work very well. And I think also, Fright Law, you made me watch some videos of Cyberpunk 2077 just to see what the hell it was. Let's see. All right. Well, all right, let's not make it go crazy. Let's have it go up a little bit. Same for this. Just doing some chill modeling on this. Got the level basically done. I'm just trying to make it look a little bit pretty. Not a lot pretty, just a little bit. I know my place. I'm an indie. I'm not gonna do anything crazy awesome here. There's something I aim for. It's called likability, where the thing doesn't impress anybody, but they just like it. Which is sometimes a worthy goal for an indie. You just make something likable. All right, is that gonna allow me to put the other stuff in? It's kind of weird. Let me fix this side so I don't have as much trouble later. Yeah, I'll finish doing these guys. Okay. I think that's the indie challenge. You have to figure out something that you're doing that nobody else is doing, that's been overlooked. Because if you try to do the same thing that AAA is doing, all the best you can do after busting your ass is make something that's impressively not as good, because you won't have all that money. You won't have, you know, tens of millions going into you. You won't have teams of hundreds of people, and you know, it's just hopeless if you try to make, you know, a first person shooter, unless there's something about your first person shooter that other people aren't doing. You know, if it's like, if you're like a fish in a fishbowl with a gun or something, you know, it's just something different. Otherwise, there's just no point. I've seen indie studios make games that were like 50% as good as AAA's and just kill themselves doing it, and there was just like nothing different about their game. There's some genres though, like I'm not a big fan of this genre, but I understand it. Like, it appeals to me, and it seems like it gives it a fighting chance. Like horror, horror games, horror simulators. I think it works there because there's a lot of opportunity to play with themes. To tell a story. Story is like a differentiator too. Like, you can have a lot of things in story that make your game different from other things. But yeah, like I said, I just don't see any reason to make an indie version of a AAA game. Okay, don't worry about that. Just make sure that this part is straight. Okay. Did I mess up this over here? Yeah, I did. Okay. Let's put that 6. That's 6. Where is it? Yeah, that's 6. Okay, that's 6 on all sides. Okay. Oh, yeah, these insets are kind of a pain, but I think they'll look good. Just get my game from looking just too blocky all the time. Just have a little bit of decoration there, look better. Okay, 6, 6. 6. Okay. So got that. Let's put in the other blocks. Let's see this. I'll change it to a different texture. Okay. Turn on snapping. I wish Unity had snapping that worked on place. I had to write my own. It was a pain in the ass. It remains a pain in the ass. Okay, let's extrude some of these just to see what it looks like. Well, not just to see what it looks like, but I don't want to wait to see what it looks like because maybe there's something I should be doing differently. Okay, extrude up. Take a look. Okay. Oops. This texture doesn't look great. I'll change it in a second. Okay, I'll just keep going with these and I'll come back and fix a few things. I think I'll probably be done with this level in half hour to an hour. There's not much left to do on it. The puzzle works. Just gotta make the walls look kind of pretty and do the lighting, play through it one more time, then I'll be done with it. Thinking about what to do on stream after that, because I do have an alpha release later today, and I've been really good about every Sunday getting a release out, and it's nice to have that cadence with the playtesters because they're already thinking ahead, like, okay, there's a new release that's going to come Sunday with some new levels. They're looking forward to it. At least they say they are. I believe them, but that's where my evidence is that they're enjoying it. Okay, so I get that out every Sunday evening. It's not a bad little cadence. I think it works for me. It works for them. So that's what I'm doing today. Is I'm doing the things that are going to count the most in this release to the playtesters. So I'm going to finish this level. In this level, I felt something like an obligation to make this particular kind of level, because the other 2 new levels that I have in this release going out to them are just these insane behemoths. They're so large, and they aren't tight, controlled puzzles. Most of the difficulty in them comes from just how large they are. Either large in size or large in the number of actions you must perform inside of the level to arrive at a solution. So I wanted a simple puzzle that's a little bit clever with a tight solution. I wanted the players to be able to feel like they were doing something really good. This is where the weirdness was. I didn't realize that's the dimension that was messing me up. So if you play puzzle games, you tend to have your own set of preferences about what makes a good puzzle. They're not all the same. Not everybody who likes puzzles likes the same things in puzzles. Some people really, really like what I call linchpin puzzles, meaning it seems impossible, the solution to the puzzle, until you've actually discovered one thing, one secret, one kind of hard to grasp problem or technique that makes the whole puzzle suddenly seem obvious, how to solve it. And once you've got it, you go, oh, you slap yourself on the forehead, and you're happy, and you feel brilliant, you feel like some kind of genius. So that's one type of puzzle that people like, that are into puzzles. It's just like sports, like some people are into sports like soccer, football. Some people like basketball, So another type of puzzle that people like are deductive puzzles, where you start out with a number of things that could be possible as a solution, and you remove things that are no longer possible or couldn't be part of the solution that you need. And it's just sort of a gradual, iterative process of arriving at a solution. There's like a famous literary quote, character quote in fiction. Sherlock Holmes, once you've removed everything impossible, whatever remains, however unlikely, must be true. That's the heart and soul of deduction. Other kinds of puzzles. There's puzzles where they're like cakewalks. A cakewalk is something where it's not maybe cakewalk is the wrong word. That just says it's easy, but it's like the solution, it reveals itself wait a minute, hold on, that's wrong, hold on. The solution reveals itself in an automatic way, so it makes you think that you're doing something really clever, or that you figured it out, but you were guided the whole time. I usually don't do anything quite as pure as that. Like, I want the player to think through it and have some insights. But in some of the easier levels, I'm hiding how easy they are. But if the player just tries a little bit, they will arrive at the solution. And there's a whole bunch of things they do along the way which gradually reveal the solution, but none of them are that difficult to complete. Okay. There's even other types of puzzles that people like. Some people like, and this is my least favorite type of puzzle. I call them node searching puzzles. So if you play Sudoku, that's a node searching puzzle. All you're doing is just fitting in different possibilities. And you just look through them all. And you find the path through that maze of different possibilities that will satisfy the solution with brute force methods. And that's a type of puzzle. It's not a very good type of puzzle, in my opinion. It's not that great. It's not that fun to play. But some people like it. So I'm not trying to give everybody what they want with this game, but I had noticed that in this latest release I had 2 puzzles of a certain type, and I wanted to round that out, so I made this puzzle. I think if anybody wants to make games, like if that's their goal, and there's a lot of people that come onto the stream that want to make games, if I can do them one service, I can show to them just what is seemingly very boring. All this time you spend by yourself on a computer, working on different aspects of your game, particularly the code stuff. Like what I'm doing right now is actually maybe more accessible to people that don't really understand game development. So I'm doing level modeling right now, but again, service is too strong a word, but I think a lot of people don't understand when they say they want to make games the sheer amount of time that is needed to make a game, and that they aren't just thrown together by acts of genius. Okay, so like we've got this idea that there's somebody, who's just brilliant, and you might think like they spend all their time maybe in some cool hacker pad party house, and then every once in a while they stroll over to the computer and they write 17 lines of just pure genius code, and suddenly a game appears on the screen. It's fun to play, and and there's like these things like game jams that sort of give that idea too. Like, make a game in 3 days. Who wants to play those games out of those jams? Like, there's more of an audience to just be in the jams and create things than there is to play these little games that people make. There's so much work involved in making a game, and it doesn't end anytime when you want it to. Even for a little indie game, it just goes on and on and on. It's a marathon, So I keep on running across these people that are sort of deluded about what it takes. not to say anything really bad about jams, as long as the people that are in them understand what they are. I mean, I think they're great, actually. I'm glad there's a bunch of them around. But what is going on with this? Something's wrong. But that's not how a proper game gets made. Yeah, okay, how is this off? What I'm doing now is actually more the self-indulgent aspects of the whole thing too. Not self-indulgent, but it's like one of the points where you get to see like a whole bunch happening at one time, kind of fast. Most of the time, it's like I'll spend 2 hours just fixing a bug, and it makes one little thing happen better in the game, and that's more typical. Okay, that was just off snap. Where you have things that work perfectly well, not perfectly well, they work pretty good, and that took you a little bit of effort to get them going. But then you want something to work like 10% better, 20% better, and you'll spend just as much time on that last 20% as you did on the first 80%. Just basic power law stuff. So for example, I had these axles working 2 years ago, and I spent maybe a day getting them working, but I spent maybe 2 or 3 days beyond that getting things like animations that show when the axle's rotation is blocked, getting them to rotate back into place when the player resets the level, interactions with other game elements, getting those all debugged. The blocks were working 2 years ago too, but then I had other little bits to add to them, like nice trails and the letters being legible under different conditions, having them be stacked up on top of each other. Just all these things that I added to them that really took most of the time. Okay, so there's all that. Now I am thinking about maybe I leave the gap in, I let light shine through. Nah, I don't think that'll look that good. Alright, so do I got all those up? I do. Okay, so now I'll go and fix up all the smaller gaps and stuff. Close all the gaps. Okay, so what am I going to do today? After I get done with this level, I'm going to add a feature that will save all of the moves that a player makes into the log file when they complete or exit a level. And that will allow me to ask my playtesters to send me their lists of moves. That's weird gap. Okay, I guess it's all right. So if I need to troubleshoot something, I can just have them send those moves to me. Okay. It's weird that I come over 3 on this side. What's up with that? Okay, this is 6. It looks alright. Then after that I might go off stream because I've got some bugs to fix that are player build only, and it's really a lot of switching around between different computers and stuff, so it's not very stream friendly. Okay. Yeah. So that's my PSA. Software is slow. It takes a long time to make. It's a lot of time spent by yourself working on it. To the extent you're able to accomplish things in short amounts of time, there must be accompanying work to refine it, to get it to a level that it'll work in many situations and be free of bugs and look polished. So things don't really happen fast when you're making games. A few things here and there can, but that, for the most part, it's a big slog. It takes a long time. Okay, I want to change the textures on this. So as soon as I remove the texture, it no longer has any way for me to select it by clicking on it. So let me see if I can get that back to be selected. There we go. Material editor, let's try it. Oh. All right. Hold on. It's not a bad color. That one is up really high right now, but I think it would not be so bright once I start the game. Let me test that theory. This one here is hooked up to the music, so it'll blink. Let me see what it looks like. It might be just crazy. All right. That's too much. I could turn it down, but yeah, I don't know. There's reasons not to. Maybe something a little simpler. This is probably gonna do it right here. Yeah, that fits. That's good enough. Okay. turn off the wall decorator. Got this script that automatically applies textures. That's the wall decorator, but I can turn it off or remove it so that I can customize. Okay, this one more. And I could just repeat again. Yeah, let's do that. Up. Over here, I'll make it different. That's your exit area. I want it to look cool. Okay, so then, how high up is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. All right. Let me see how far I am from the viewing the top of it. I just want to understand if there's any point in adding anything else decorative. Okay, so I can just start to see the top over here. So I've got maybe 2 more meters of area where something will be visible. Looking at this stuff over here, this has to be my shader, my outline shader. So it's finding either a change in depth or a change in normals there. They're causing it to make a line. I think that's what's going on. I'm thinking, let's roof up all this stuff. And then I will do a thing where I pull in the wall a little bit to give it a little more decor. Okay. Okay. Let's see. So all this stuff. Let's have it go up just a little bit higher. That will take it out of. I don't want to like way overdo it though, because it ruins the light coming down. I actually am a fan of that one directional light showing up more prevalently than individual lights. Okay, 3 should be enough. 2 was probably enough. Let me do 2. Just double check, see if it's actually affecting anything. If it's 2 or 3. If I can go with 2, then I'll stick with 2. Okay, I have to go 3. There's just the hint of an edge there. There we go. Get there. On the other side, I have to make this all go up a little bit higher, because when you step on this, you rise up and the camera view goes out to maybe here. Okay, I wanted to do something a little bit different here, but not completely unlike the rest of the level. So I think let's have some repeating pink bands. Okay, I'll use scenic wall. That'd be a little bit easier for me to change the material. Okay, cartoon. wall. What do I want to call this level? Besides ice axles, that's just my working title. I'm trying to give everything a nice story-ish name. Okay. Alright, just repeat this. I think I'm probably high enough now. I'll go a little further. No, doubt that should do it. Okay. Down here, I might leave this. It looks interesting. So when you walk in, you'll see like a little bit of that. Okay, so let's get lighting and decorations in. All right, I'll tighten up the floor down here. The data structures of the game are optimized for verticality, but not so much width height. That's why I always like to tighten up the not width height, width depth. So I like to tighten up XZ planes with depth. Now let height go as high as I want, or as low as I want, because the engine is pretty good at storing information about the level that is very vertical. Okay. So let's change this to all B. Yeah, That's the way to do it. There. Now, for all that, I didn't define my operation zone, but this will do it. Okay, so I added some decorations in an automatic way. They're wrong. Let's try that again. Okay, whenever it does this, I have to play and unplay. I think this is specific to Unity. Its raycasting will not pick up the locations of colliders and stuff when you make changes to meshes. Even if you just add something without changing its mesh, it doesn't have to be a Pro Builder object. It will not detect it and raycast it until I do play and then unplay. So now if I pick this, as far as I can tell, it's a Unity bug. Okay, so watch these decorations here. They will. Okay, so they put the new ones in the right place, but because my new operation zone was not going out to here, it didn't delete all those. So, interesting. All right. And by interesting, I mean boring. Irritating. Tedious. Try again. Okay. I got my decorations. They magically became symmetrical for me. That's nice. I didn't even plan that out. Just random numbers decided they would give me symmetry. Cool. Okay, let's do the lighting. Almost done with this level. Exit light, where are you at? Close to the right place. That's kind of nice. I'm going to make it go out real far. I think it looks pretty coming out there. So let's have it go out, spill out into the level as much as possible. That could be cool. It might be too much. Let's try it like that. Let's see what that's like. Okay, point lights. Well, this is not a point light, it's a spotlight, but whatever. Put one of these in each corner, that should be nice. Okay, the inside of the bonus area, I'll make a purple one. Okay, let's try that out. Oh, let's also put thumbnail cam in a good spot. Again, what do I want to call this thing? I will call it Spunnish Rink. All right, let's check it out. Yeah, this one's got a stupid problem with Unity turning it on and off at bad moments. I know how to fix it. I think before it's all over, I end up writing my own light controller. I do not know why Unity's is so bad. I really don't. So I have two options with this. I can either let Unity choose when it's going to turn it on and off with its logic that is faulty. Why would you turn it on or off when you're clearly within the range of the light? The camera is inside of the range of the light. So it's turning it off and on. Okay? That's one option. Let it do that stupid shit. The other option is to say to Unity, leave it on all the time. All the time. Leave it on all the time. So imagine in your house you had certain lights, certain rooms, and the obvious thing to do with the light is if somebody's in the room, go ahead and turn on the light. But people can't handle that, so that's a little too hard. So you end up with people sitting in the room in darkness because nobody can figure out that when somebody's in the room, you got to turn on the light. So you say, fuck it. Just leave it on all the time. Just say, important. This light is very important. So we're going to leave it on all the time, even when we're outside the room, when we're on vacation. It's just going to be on all the fucking time. That's what I just did there. Because Unity has not mastered the capabilities of a 7-year-old in turning lights on and off when they come into a room. Alright, so I'm going to go back to that location. All the other lights seem to be working okay. Yeah. See? Well, a little bit of from the corner rooms are turning off and on. But this is close enough. Okay, I'll take it. Alright, that is a new one. Spunnish Rink. Done, 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 done. And we will go, let's say, new level, Spunnish Rink. Okay. And, add it to my build settings. Where do I want to put it? I think right after the grinder, because deep pit is hard. The grinder's hard in its own way. Okay, let's go to the level selector. Save it. Level selector. 48 levels. Not bad, not bad. I think I will even update my status. Here it is. So let's see, this is 48. Okay, so what does that bring my numbers to? 48 plus 50 plus 15, 113 divided by 5, 23. But here's the thing, I don't think I'm gonna do 100 levels. I don't think I'm gonna do that. I think I'm about ready to take the player to the very last levels. So I'm going to change this number right here. Let's set this more appropriately. 48 of 60. 80%. Yeah, we're going to get a little jump here. Okay. So 80% plus 50% plus 15 divided by 3 equals 48%. And let's do the ones across the top. We say 87 plus 48 plus 1 plus 6 equals that divided by 3, 47%. All right. Save that. Save the PNG. All right. So I'm almost halfway. I did the reboot, right? Okay. Try it out. Okay, there is one bad thing about this new height thing that I've got here. You can see the edge of the level load. Go down. Can't now because the thumbnails were loading the first time I went up, and it showed like a little grid type square where it had not yet loaded. Okay, the grinder. Use my cheat key. Okay, that looks good. Oh, I probably messed up the gap. Did I mess up the gap? No, it's fine. It's fine. Okay. That's pretty cool. For me, that's really neat. That I've got 48 levels now. And that last one I liked. I might be able to do one more today, but I want to fix some bugs first. I want to do this thing where it automatically logs your moves when you exit a level. So where is the right place to put that? Scene loader, I think. No, I'm not going to worry about this. I think it is actually correct for some things, scenes that load, for this to be set this way. So let's get rid of that. Yeah, load selector. No, actually this will only get called for loading levels. So let me give this a better name. Let me see what calls this. Hallway selector. The resume. Okay, so this is really its load level. Okay. That will break a few things. This will do. Okay. So I will build to find other places I need to change. So I renamed a function, so this should be load level. Okay, that should do it. Alright, so let's try this. I can actually just see it logging by checking the console, because it will put it to the console as well as the file. Clear that, let's hit play. What's going on? Oh, I'm like spacing out there. Okay. That seems fine. Let's see if it tries to log something when I go here. Okay. Then I say, let's go ahead and restore. Abandon the game. Aha! And I put this here. It did it when I loaded the selector. So if I go to Editum, I think it'll attempt again to... No, it did. It logged twice. It logged once for both of them. Okay, I could be a little bit smarter about this. So the way is that you can load a new level. You can go to Restore. You just exit the game. That's another case, I guess, to worry about. I could take this out of here and put it in the meta menu. That's probably better. Let me do that. Okay. Okay, then there's exit. Okay, there's one other case. So if you don't restore, you don't exit, you could also just advance to the next level. And that's done inside of main object. Okay, it's right here. Okay, that should do it. So let me check for the 3 cases. Okay, let's go to some level that is easy for me to win. Yep. Except because I didn't make any moves, it's not going to save anything. Or it's not going to output any moves, so I didn't make any moves. That's fun. So let me make some moves this time. Yeah, nice. Output that. Okay. Now just I can exit. It should output the same moves again. Okay, that's fine. I think I want to add a little more information. I want to be able to say the current name of the level that goes along with those. So I'm going to say not here. like that. I don't know, is that true? That's weird. I understand what it's doing. It's saying it's a single instance of commands, but it doesn't apply to the values inside of the object instance. But that's just C#. That's just how C# works. Okay. Let's try this one. So I added that because when I looked at, oh look, I'm already doing something there. Let me get the level name one time. Add the level name because when I was just looking at the log, it seemed potentially ambiguous which level the commands went with. So let's see what it looks like now. Huh. I think this is not code I would normally write, but probably the IDE suggested it to me. All right, let's try it out. Let's try it out. This is probably close to the end of the stream right here because I've got some off-stream tasks I want to do. Okay, let's go to an easy one. Yeah. If I exit, oh, interesting. Okay, I'm glad I did that exercise because now I'm seeing that every single level that I load registers as a diagnostic, which means that when I say that log diagnostics, it'll log the commands from every single friggin' thing that was visited, which is not going to be helpful. I need to have a facility to unregister the diagnostics. Okay, good. So let's go to field logger. forget how to do this. That one. Okay. Okay, so it's going to be object, remove object. Do I get one with a, yeah, I think I can do like a predicate type thing. Okay, so is it, how does it work? We say object, okay, check object. Now it's going to be object, check object, check object, get type equals remove type. If remove object not equal null, objects remove object. I think that works. And then you're saying I don't need object and I don't need this. Is that right? Okay. Okay. Let's just say first diagnostic of type. To be clear, I'm not removing more than one. Should only be one anyways if I'm always doing it that way. Let's see how well this works. Okay, go ahead. Let's make it read only. That one I would like to turn off. Let's see if I can turn it off. Also, any new stuff from this guy? Let me turn this on. Your mind is like a dungeon. You must follow the path of least resistance. Pinpoint the one that does not belong. Where do I disable it? That's what I want to know. Okay, how do I disable it? Nice. Okay, let me just do. That sounds awesome. Okay, can I do Alt Enter? No, that's not. That's not it. Well, that was the wrong thing anyways. Alt Enter? No, that's not it. Oh, well, actually I don't think I was doing Alt. Let's do, well, come out, Alt. Yeah. Do not show. Oh, this is great. So Alt or Option Enter, and I get all of these options. Oh, this is great. Love it. Now what are you complaining about? Don't tell me how to spell my game name. I think in general, just shut the fuck up about typos. In general. Okay, this is great. Now I can start just kind of taking all these seriously. So what was the deal with this? These are interesting to me. I don't really want to disable those. I think kind of line by line disabling them is good though. Yeah. Okay. So, and then you're saying because I'm calling something like, yeah, I wish it would just sort of cascade down, because these are going to be read wherever they get called. It's fine. I'll leave them. I'll leave them. Severity. Can I do anything with severity? It's just a hint. Hints are good. And this is interesting. Let's see. Kind of curious. Is there a way to specify that something is not performance critical? By the way, I've got a fair amount of respect for Writer and its linting, which is on the persnickety side, but it has some insight to it often. And I've learned a lot about C# just by paying attention to all the warnings that pops up. Okay. I'll leave that be for now. All right. So let me see if I have succeeded in making it so that it only has one diagnostic there at a time. Mm-hmm. Okay. There we go. So here I expect that it will not find anything. Should be null. Cool. Nice. Perfect. Okay, it logged symmetric calyx. It didn't log anything else, which is as it should be. If I go okay, I should remove symmetric calyx. Yes. Cool. All right. That one's in the bag. Let us go and add to the release notes. All right, so that is going to be the end of the stream because I got to do some off-stream stuff. I'm gonna still keep working, but I need to do some things where I'm making builds and ferrying them to the laptop and going back and forth with it. So it doesn't make for good streaming. So I will, as if what I normally do is good streaming, but I'll call that a stream, and I'll see people tomorrow if they want to see me. Anybody who's lurking, catch you later. Stopping the stream right now.